We'll stay right there with Will Hardy. What can you tell us about the decision to go with someone with not a ton of name recognition in Will Hardy?
Yeah, Will Hardy, 5-year deal in Utah to become their new head coach. 34 years old. He'll be the youngest coach in the league. This is someone who came up in the Greg Popovich system from the video room to the front of the bench and joined Ime Udoka in Boston this season on that team that obviously reached the NBA final. Blew away the Jazz in their interview process, far and away the top choice. And this is a coach who very much would have been in the mix in San Antonio when Greg Popovich retires. And he, among general managers in the league, it was just a question of when he would get a head coaching job. Now he'll replace Quinn Snyder, 5-year deal at 34 years old.
Fresh face, so fresh that I was trying to do some research because I felt like there was a Hardy Boys joke in there somewhere. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia, so let's get on that, Will. In other Western Conference news, Woj, you also reported earlier today that just like Kyrie, Russell Westbrook will be opting into his contract. The Lakers guard set to earn $47.1 million from the Lakers. There was intrigue around the decision since Westbrook's first season in L.A. was a touch forgettable. Let's be real, his numbers certainly were down. And then, of course, no playoffs. What does Westbrook opting in mean for the Lakers' financial flexibility? They seem cash-strapped this coming season.
They are this season.
Yeah.
And outside of their taxpayer mid-level exception, it's $6+ million. That's how they can improve the team. Obviously, veteran minimum deals. And listen, Westbrook was expected to opt into this $47 million. Now, he's on an expiring contract, and that deal obviously comes off the cap at the end of the season in L.A. And I talked to Russell Westbrook recently. He's really excited about the relationship he started to build with Darvin Ham, their new head coach, working with him this season. And, last year, obviously, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, they only played 21 games together. Obviously, they'd like to be on the floor a lot more this year.
Certainly. I also want to stay there in L.A. We had more news. John Wall, everyone knows for a long time, he was one of the premier talents in the NBA, but let's be honest, he's only played, 40 games in the last 3 seasons. What more can you tell us about the Clippers' decision?
Well, he obviously got a buyout in Houston, becomes a free agent. And I'm told that when free agency starts on Thursday night, his plan is to negotiate a contract with the Los Angeles Clippers. He wants to play there. He's determined to play there. Certainly sees the need of another ball handler in their backcourt, another scorer. This is a loaded roster. And so John Wall, as soon as he was getting that buyout with the Rockets, he made it clear to those around him that he wants, once free agency opens, to go talk to the Clippers and find a way to get a deal done and join that team that will return Kawhi Leonard and Paul George healthy to start the season, maybe one of the 2-3 front runners to win an NBA championship.
Well, you certainly know the odds makers salivating a little bit. Even before John Wall making that decision, they had the 3rd best odds in the West to win the NBA championship. Woj hanging out all week long. Nice to see you in the flesh, Woj.
Good to see you, El.
I mentioned it. 7-1 to be exact. 3rd shortest behind the Warriors and the Celtics. Oh, 3rd shortest in general. Look at me. As for the Lakers, they're 18-1, which is 11th shortest and 6th among Western Conference teams. Won't we find a way to always make it about LA? Tony and Pablo have more on the Lakers' chances in tonight's PTI bonus thing.
All right, Pablo. Russell Westbrook opted in with the Lakers for next season. What does this mean for the Lakers' chances?
So, Tony, the nicest thing I say about Russell Westbrook is that he's an awesome bad team player. If you have a bad team, he will fill up the stat sheet. He will be entertaining. He will try as hard as you've ever seen anybody try. But on a good team, specifically this good team, he remains what he was last year. And as long as I've known him on the Lakers, he is the ceiling on this team. If he is there and he can't figure out how to play with LeBron James and they still have not done that, he is the ceiling on this team's potential.
This is such an interesting thing that you said, and I had not thought of it because I watched him in Washington for a year on a bad team, and I admired the way he played. I admired the effort he gave in every single game. I admired not just the statistics, but the way he attempted to make other people better on that team. And you're right, it was a bad team. And I thought when he went to the Lakers it would work. And clearly it did not work at all. And I feel bad for Russell Westbrook because of the effort that I saw in Washington, the effort that I had seen in previous stops along the way. And so that's a very interesting explanation to me. I assume if you're the Lakers, the guy opts in because it's $47 million. Of course he opts in.
0.1, yes.
But
yes.
I assume you attempt to put some sort of trade together and make him happy, go somewhere else, and bring somebody in.
No, Tony, he has been an accounting device. He's been an asset. They've been trying to get him off the books to trade him elsewhere because really that's kind of it for Russell Westbrook as his potential.
Being accused of sexual misconduct with massage therapists. The NFL, Watson's legal team, and the NFLPA engaged in settlement talks that would have averted a hearing, but they were unable to reach a settlement. One source telling Dan Graziano that in those talks, the league would never move off its position that Watson's suspension should be for a full season. While we wait to hear about a decision, investigative reporter John Barr joining us now on SportsCenter. John, just yesterday, attorney Tony Busby, he filed a lawsuit against the Houston Texans, claiming the team knew or should have known of Watson's past conduct. How could the timing of that lawsuit impact today's hearing?
Well, Kevin, Monday's lawsuit was by far the most detailed account yet in a lawsuit of what the Texans may have known about at least elements of Watson's behavior. So putting that information in the public sphere puts added public pressure on the NFL to ask for a substantial penalty for Watson. The lawsuit spelled out quite a bit, frankly, including the relationship the Texans had with a company in the Houston area known as Genuine Touch. That's a massage therapy business. In June of 2020, months before any lawsuit was filed against Deshaun Watson, Genuine Touch's owner reached out to the Texans training staff expressing concerns that Watson wasn't using the licensed massage therapists at Genuine Touch, but rather going outside the sphere of those massage therapists, reaching out to strangers on Instagram and getting massages with them. That same owner also knew about what she referred to as sexual relations between Watson and two massage therapists at Genuine Touch. It's not clear that the Texans knew that, though, Kevin. What the Texans have said all along is they did not become aware of inappropriate behavior during massage sessions until that very first lawsuit was filed in March of 2021.
20 of the previous 24 civil lawsuits against Watson will be settled, according to Busby. Where do the remaining cases, John, stand right now?
Well, Busby says he's committed to taking those cases to trial, and he also said that this lawsuit that was filed Monday against the Texans will be the first of what he called many lawsuits filed against the Texans. So it's not yet clear just how many of the women who have filed lawsuits against Watson, of course there are only 4 that will remain active, how many of them will actually go to the additional step of suing the Texans. But, you know, those civil cases and this NFL hearing that Watson's being a part of, they're all just about added accountability for these women. They're looking for some measure of accountability now from the NFL. Of course, 2 jurisdictions in Texas took a look at this from the criminal side, decided not to pursue criminal charges against Watson. You have 4 remaining civil lawsuits against Watson, now a case against the Texans, and then this additional hearing where Watson could face potentially another year's suspension from the NFL.
And by the way, Watson has claimed innocence to any allegations of sexual misconduct. John Barr with the very latest surrounding Deshaun Watson.
Still to come on SportsCenter.